Well, we won't go any further on that.
You notice he said wee?
Oh, wonderful. How long are you here? Did you blow in from a tornado or something?
Long walk. No tornadoes.
Howdy.
How are you guys?
Wonderful. How you doing?
Pretty good, thanks.
How
I
long
borrowed
have you
your
been?
scribbler.
Yeah, them tornadoes seem
How do I
like they
spell
go
my
around
name?
us.
Oh, really? Well, that's good. Oh,
We
my
have a
gosh.
few little earthquakes,
Oh, yeah, I bet. Oh, wow.
but whenever they put a moratorium on that fracking, they went away pretty much. We've had a few minor ones, but nothing to speak of.
People discount that, don't they, the frackers?
Well, the oil wells, some of the companies down there took out bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big ones already did. And the company that my grandson-in-law works for, they're even hiring right now. He's a trainer for them. He trains the drivers, and he keep him busy.
Thank you.
I don't know whose pen that was. I just
Mine,
passed
but
it by.
it'll come back, it'll come back.
So maybe we'll do bike park renovations and surrounding things. We don't know maybe
I don't know if Mary and David were coming to the meeting or not. They were
No,
originally
actually,
coming to lunch.
Okay,
But I'm moving to Louisville in August.
but apparently the lunch is canceled.
So we may be, all
Yeah,
of
like
it's
I'm
gonna
not
be
too
here.
bad, no, but
Maybe
it'll
we
be
can
really
all
nice
go
to
out
have
to lunch.
Yeah.
Mr. Denso would like.
No, back.
So as far as
There.
you know, this is all that's gonna be here?
I know Jill is not coming,
Yeah.
she's working. No, I don't know.
Of course, it's already.
Alan, I
Yeah.
don't think will be here. I know that.
And Lindsay, I'm not sure.
So is Larry not gonna come? Or we
Larry.
don't know?
He was gonna try to come, but
Okay.
his wife has to. he
Yeah,
just
I
finished
saw
from the
They're
hospital.
checking her out of
Here
the
comes-
hospital right now.
Here comes,
But
yeah, here comes,
he said they're doing the final paperwork right now. This was at
yeah, right there,
9:30.
Mary,
Oh, Mary's coming?
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll wait another minute or so. Mary,
Yeah.
get in here and sit and wait.
Gee, I'm surprised you're dismissing her so quickly.
Apparently, I'm the one
With
that's
a
doing it.
blood clot.
Unless you'd like to have a whole.
No, thank you. I thought Mary was
Right.
And they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be
ahead of
doing.
it now.
so they're-
Yeah, she's right
Yeah,
there.
because there's no reason to keep her, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe Mary would like to conduct the meeting, and she's vice president.
Sure.
Yep, it's your
Hi,
meeting,
Mary.
Introduce me to this strange person. Hey, you don't have to get up.
Well, I'm just living.
Oh, good to see you. What a nice
Yeah.
surprise.
How are
You
you?
noticed him right away.
Hey,
Well-
Mary.
I'm living.
I've got a
That's all
question
you
for
can say for it, though.
you. Larry's not gonna be here. Seems how you're VP.
Yeah, but.
Time's
you're-
catching
you're
up with me.
ex, So I don't care.
I think it's going to pass me one of these days.
Hi, David. How you doing?
But if you don't want to, I will.
I'm fine. I wondered about him when he said he'd be here. I
Yeah.
thought, what?
I know.
Yeah, when he called at 9:30.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Signing paperwork to let him
Doing
out.
pretty good. How about yourself?
But you know how that goes.
Yes.
Can take forever. Hi, David.
Okay.
So he said he wasn't sure. Would we tell everybody? See, there are people here. Does everyone know that we were having a lunch, but now we're not having a lunch?
I didn't know, but either way,
Well,
we're-
I'm sure of us never got the original lunch.
Want to pass that down to David?
Yeah, that was strange, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was strange.
There you go.
So you didn't get it either,
No,
because you're up there.
yeah, I think a good
I
share of us
have no
didn't.
idea. Larry just called and said, I'm not gonna be there. So,
I'm from Oklahoma. Who are you?
Lindsay.
That's a lack.
I'm a lifetime member.
Yeah, I've heard you on the little
Yes,
thingy before.
whatever that was.
Yeah, I always answer this way, but nobody sees it. Yeah.
he always moves
like
pretty
I
Conference
was
call.
stating earlier, everything you've heard about him is true.
And then some.
Around again, I think we'll walk in this.
Are you running here now? With everything?
Not so much right now.
Including the story of
She
riding
needs to sign it.
riding a horse through the tavern.
Horse.
Tavern.
Well, we had fun up there. We couldn't have had a better weekend.
Wow.
The only thing is I was having trouble with my motor home.
Oh, no, what happened?
Well, our air conditioner went out, so we was using a portable one. I didn't realize it took as much juice as it did because I liked about that much of hooking my 30 amp breaker up to it. So I just hooked up to the 20 amp. Well, with my refrigerator on, had air conditioner on, kept blowing the breaker. So I get out there and turn the gas on, you know, and get out there. I've got to light mine from outside because my igniter's broke. About 45 minutes I was sitting there holding that damn button up. Nothing. I was heck with it. I went to bed. Got up the next morning, pushed that button up, right off the bat. Oh,
Shall I call us to order?
sure.
Okay.
Order in the court.
Yeah. Okay, so the minutes, Madam Secretary.
She's got my
This
job.
is the minutes of the June 17th meeting. The meeting was called to order by Chairperson Larry Dorsey. In attendance were Commission members Walt Ackerman, Mary Cartwright, Larry Dorsey, Bob Morgan, Katie Olson, Jill Roberts, and Karen Woligorsky. Staff Brian Meyer, Town Board Member Joe Sorelli, and others Maureen Hogue, Alan Jarrett, and Gail Casana. Minutes of the May 20th meeting were read. Bob Morgan moved they be approved as amended. Mary Cartwright seconded the motion, and the motion carried. Treasurer's reports were given as follows. Bob Morgan reported that the fire truck account currently has a balance of $202. Brian reported that there is $1,533.87 in the 2016 Historic Preservation account. The Capital Improvement account has a balance of $5,000. Debriefings were discussed as follows. There were approximately 10 visitors at the June 4th museum opening. The annual historic walk followed the museum closing at 2 p.m. It went well and was attended by approximately 38 people, including commission members and volunteers. No one attended the Boulder Heritage Roundtable on June 16th. Larry made a presentation in Louisville on June 15th on the shootout at the Superior Depot. It was well attended, with about 2/3 of the people coming from Superior. The cataloging filing committee worked one Friday and got a lot accomplished. They remarked that there is a lot to catalog. There is no news on the oral history video project. There is no news on the Superior Information and Wikipedia project. Brian reported on the status of the fire truck restoration work. The work, including painting, should be complete very soon and the truck delivered the week before the 4th of July. Brian will let members know when it is to arrive. Mile High Classics is doing some extra work in exchange for being able to place a 6-inch by 6-inch sign near the rear of the truck. Wally has not yet worked on the cream separator. On June 7th, members placed markers where they would like the new museum sign. Brian stated that it is on the schedule to be installed and he will let us know when it will happen. Brian has met with a couple gutter companies. The estimate is approximately $2,800 for gutters on the museum. Members feel it is more important to install gutters in Grasso Park first. Some decisions need to be made on the size. Karen announced that thank you notes were sent to Danny Kupner and Jean Morgan for their donation of the Bruno collection. A congratulatory card was sent to Laverne Johnson in Lyons for naming of the park in her honor. Next was a discussion on the motion from the May 20th meeting to donate $100 to the Broomfield Depot Museum. Joe indicated that it is not customary for committees to make donations, i.e. a public entity making a donation to another public entity. Walt Ackerman moved that we rescind the motion of the $100 donation from the May meeting. Mary Cartwright seconded the motion, and the motion carried. The July 4th activities were discussed. Lineup for the parade begins at 7:30 with the parade starting at 8:30. Everyone is excited about the newly restored historic fire truck being in the parade. Bob, Wally, and Larry will go to the parade to set up our booth.
Description here.
Surprise, surprise.
You want to sit up at the front?
This could be the other front.
Yeah, actually.
I'll let the chair take care of that.
New business, staffing for the museum openings on June 18th and July 2nd was discussed. Walt and Carol, David and Mary plan to attend the NFRAM meeting on June 20th at Gold Hill. Next was a discussion on the safety hazard on the back porch of the museum. The lip on the east end has been removed, but members think a railing should also be installed on that end, perpendicular to the house. This could potentially be part of an Eagle Scout project. A lady on the historic walk inquired as to whether we might have any projects for the Boy Scouts. Katie Olson led a discussion on her ideas for publicity for our museum, including a presence through social media channels. She and Alan passed out a list of potential themes for museum displays in the future, perhaps changing every couple months. We welcome Lindsay Llewellyn as our newest commission member. She was appointed at the May 23rd town board meeting to fill our one vacancy. Bob Morgan moved the meeting be adjourned at 11:30, and Joe Robert seconded the motion. Next meeting will be July 15th.
All right, do you want to take over?
Go ahead.
Okay, well, step in as you need.
Okay.
How's Cheryl doing?
Just brought her home, so doing okay.
She's feeling better?
Yeah, she's feeling a lot better, but she has her oxygen level goes down quite a bit when she gets up and about, so she's gonna sit and take it easy, and I just got some oxygen coming in. So yeah. Otherwise, she was really severe pain last night. So for her to admit she has pain and actually go to ER is quite a deal. So
Yeah.
so we started asking questions. Now like she had all the classic symptoms. Blood clot. She just didn't want to fix the chicken salad.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we understand that.
Yeah.
You just said something.
Yep.
Found another way out.
A lot of work.
You could have sent down for it.
That's right. Go to the deli or something.
Okay, treasurer's report, Bob? How's?
We need to.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That walkthrough, did that include the old campsite?
Oh, yeah.
Did it?
It was the whole regular.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Who did you get to go up the hill?
Larry?
Larry. You took my job. Glad you did.
Do you need a motion?
Yeah, I did.
I'll make the motion that we accept the minutes of the last meeting as so read.
I second. Got my 2 cents in.
Commission member for life.
Okay, the fire truck restoration account is still $202 and 0 cents. There's $4 that need to be deposited in there. I have to find out where it went to. So right now it's officially
Are we gonna have to do an
$202.
audit?
Did you buy a hamburger?
No, I gave it to Brian here, and I don't know where he's got it, so we'll find it, trace it down. So it's $202 right now.
Historic preservation account.
$1,415.22.
Okay, can you repeat that?
$1,415.22.
Okay.
Do you, I don't see anywhere on the agenda Do you have any news from Brian about the gutter quotes or?
So he said that he's still waiting on, quotes on it, and then, yeah, that's it. That's all he has.
Well, I think that's been done number 10 probably.
I think it's in.
Okay.
Capital. Are we still at $5,000 in the capital improvement?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we're ready for old business. Museum opening, June 18th, mid-month. What were the crowds there?
The June 18th was real paltry, and July 2nd was lots. I think June 18th is probably fewer than 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
you and I?
And then,
That's what I gave my walkthrough.
Yeah.
very dramatic, too.
Give me some color.
Oh, that's right, you came on your bicycle. July 2nd, I think we had about 20.
Right.
We said about 20 on July 2nd. Okay, to recap on the 4th of July.
We had the museum opening July 2nd, or didn't you?
Yeah.
Did I
Yeah,
miss-
yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, and 20 people.
Okay, I'm behind. What happened then at the June 18th one?
Oh,
Less than 5.
Thank you. Okay.
But the guy came by that might be interested in helping, that had gone to your talk. He's from Rhode Island, and he helped, he just moved up here to Calamonte, or whatever those are called. And he has been involved in museums, and he seemed interested. He had done a bunch of oral history
Mhm.
projects or something, so.
Yeah, that's right, King. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, he was a volunteer at a military museum, maybe back in Maine or something.
Too good to have him aboard.
He shows
Yeah.
up again.
Okay, 4th of July, besides our gorgeous fire truck. Comments?
We need more candy.
Yeah.
How would you run out again?
Yes.
Some of us threw out too much.
I didn't think we were being overly generous, but apparently we were.
Just so you know, I think all the kids got enough candy after, after you guys.
Some of the ones at the very end weren't all sad.
Oh,
There
really?
was plenty of candy.
Yeah.
But still,
It looks good.
especially as we need to be the front truck and that to be running out.
Especially as far in front as we were.
Yes, yes.
One of the things that was brought up on the fire truck, because Walt rode in, I think Gladys was originally gonna ride in the front of the fire truck. She apparently didn't show up, so then Walt rode in with Matt. Apparently the exhaust really leaks bad in that, right under the drive, apparently it's right under the cab. He said it was very hot in there because of all the exhaust coming up through the floor, the heat, and I'm guessing that there was probably quite a few exhaust fumes in
So you want to drive with windows open?
there. Well, actually, I think what we really want to do is address getting it fixed. You know, that's obviously a safety and health hazard. You can't drive that with exhaust fumes like that, so. I don't know how we want to handle that, but I think we should probably look at that. Probably something that's going to be done on the fire truck, maybe the next possible thing is to have that fixed.
You think somebody's going to have to fashion an exhaust system for it, or can you get them?
That I honestly can't answer. I believe when we had it up at Rocky, or Mountain Truck, didn't they say that they thought that would be fairly easy to
I
fix?
think so.
But I really can't give you an answer on it because I honestly don't know. I would imagine they probably nowadays make the exhaust system to right almost as they're doing it to fit the truck.
Take it to a muffler shop, they can do it just like brand new.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. That,
And did you get any donations on on 4th of July? Did you guys, with all the hype of the new fire truck, were you even accepting donations?
I don't think we even tried to
We
get
didn't
donations.
have the buckets out.
No,
We didn't have any donation buckets out or anything. Don't know why, but we didn't.
I think we're under the impression it's funded now.
Or maybe would that work come under the restoration of the cab itself? I mean, whenever you put a contract out or
I
get,
think
you
we're
know,
looking at putting, earmarking in next year's budget. Continue on the truck, which would include the interior of the cab.
Right.
I think we probably include the interior of the cab and the
Exhaust
exhaust
system,
system.
yeah.
Package there.
Yeah, and that's fine, as long, I don't think we have any plans for that being driven and anything else right now.
Does it go out for the Chili Fest?
It hasn't the last 2 years.
I haven't been to the Chili
Yeah.
Fest in years.
We haven't thought about that, actually.
Is that muffler directly underneath the floorboard?
Well, I don't know if it's the muffler or if it's rusted out someplace between the manifold and the muffler.
Because we had that old 42 Chevy that we had on the farm truck. Muffler was right under the floorboard, and it did put out a lot of heat.
Yeah,
We put a shield between that and the floorboard.
yeah, well, Walt was just saying that
Uh-huh.
it was, apparently there was a lot of exhaust fumes in there.
Could have been.
That's why I'm saying, I think it's, before we start driving it very much at all, it should be addressed. And if it works out, it goes with the restoration on the cab, that's fine.
The booth there at the celebration, we didn't have much activity. We had, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 people stop by. But we had a lot of activity on either side of us. You had face painting on the left side
Oh.
with a line of kids and everything. And then on the right, we had the exercise booth, people doing their chin-ups and everything. So I think that may have caused people to, go around us.
Yeah.
So maybe next time we might consider where we can put our tents.
We always had a good
You
drawing.
had your own tent, I mean,
Yeah.
some of the other groups shared, and you couldn't even tell they were there.
Yeah, it was,
Well, we originally didn't have a tent, and then I think Larry went and inquired about it and got us a tent.
I think Tori got
Yeah, Tori
Yeah.
got us.
a tent
We
for
had
us.
an extra one, which was out in the middle of nowhere.
So I would keep it.
That's- We haven't brought our own because the town's only supplying.
Oh, yeah.
We have another option too. I thought we were real close to the, I think it was Stover Real Estate, was doing the face painting.
yeah.
And when they set up, too, they can only put their tables in sideways. Vertical instead of horizontal, or whatever the right terminology is, so probably need a little bit more elbow room. Otherwise, one of the reactions I have is that staff has always done a terrific job.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It was a great
absolutely.
event, Really.
Parade and all the festivities.
Yeah.
Good job.
So next year, what is it, you want it right next to the pancake place?
You darn right, boy, right next to the grill.
You better watch, he'll be over at the Pancake House.
Yeah, you can't beat him.
Yeah, save some
It's
stuff.
a real art to pick in what line to get on for your pancakes.
Yeah,
You gotta study who's efficient at cooking those things.
I thought they had a real good turnout, though. There were a lot of, quite a few people there.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the bigger turnouts.
Yeah,
in town.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a beautiful morning for it, everything was
No,
good.
Yeah.
no, we made 4,000 pancakes.
Wow.
Oh, no, how do you
Wow.
know?
I run the volunteers, and so
They count.
I was keeping track of all the bags that they were mixing.
What
So
kind of mix did you, do they use?
it's the Bisquick, the big bags from Costco,
Mhm.
and so we get them
Yeah.
we put them in the food grade buckets, and we have a drill mixer, and so the Boy Scouts mix up all the batter. And, yeah.
whatever they are, they're good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Don't change it.
Yeah, it's
It
a
works
good,
out really well.
They're
It's a
good,
good
they're better
mix.
than that other mix that Costco sells that we buy. The German mix that you just add water, just
Yeah.
add water to it, they're not nearly as good as we used to.
Yeah, they came out pretty good this year.
What does that cost the city?
Costco usually, I think they donate.
Really?
Sometimes, I don't know if they did this year, I know they have in the past, so I'm not sure.
Nice.
Yeah. It's cheaper than you'd expect.
If I could I make one suggestion, if you wouldn't mind?
Yeah.
Perhaps we could get it to the point, and I don't know, and I'm not criticizing, I'm just making a comment. The juice and the syrup and that stuff maybe a little closer together so that, you know, you're not going here and then over there. And,
Well, it's two lines you end up on, is
Yeah.
what happens. I agree with you.
you know, and then they had the bananas and stuff, you know, and the reason that I had a couple of people who were working on some of that said they thought maybe that stuff should be a little closer together so you didn't have to walk so far. And that's just a suggestion. I'm not,
No.
please don't take it as a criticism.
No, definitely appreciate it's hard to know when you're not
Yeah.
participating in the event, so I appreciate it.
Anything else on the 4th of July? Okay, Ann Friend, up at Gold Hill. David, what are your comments?
I suppose what was going, something really quite a bit into the organisation. The lunch was good. It was all open air and used the meeting space and the auditorium. And then we had a conductor tour around the town afterwards, so it was really interesting. We got a very quick look at the museum, a very nice museum. Quite a bit about the Tristan Trail and their road.
Nice place to be,
Yeah.
be up there in the mountains on a beautiful summer's day.
In the afternoon, the fog started rolling in.
Oh.
You know, it's a very picture.
Oh,
If
my.
people are interested, the museum is just open in the summer, so you need to get up there, but it is wonderful museum. And was it you that said the whole town's a museum, Ruby?
Yeah.
Somebody, I don't think I was that original.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Somebody else had it.
Cataloging, filing update, and donation screening.
Take it, Gail.
Oh, boy. Well, a certain lobe has been so busy,
Oh.
so we haven't gotten together. Hate to say it. But when we do, we're okay. It takes a bunch, though, to do it.
Get stuff done, don't we?
Yeah, now and then.
Do it.
And the oral history, I haven't heard any more from Jill. Is anyone
No, I don't think anything.
happening?
She was just editing video at the last
Really?
museum opening. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
That's right, she was doing that last opening, or
Yeah.
something, wasn't she? So she does have those people talking on video, and then, so she's putting something together.
So it's in progress. And Maureen's not here, so. Okay, fire truck project recap, which we've done a little bit of, but more, and potential car show in November.
Mile High Classics, they are entering a car show and they would really like to show the fire truck, so they said that they'd get more information from Brian and then he would relay it to you guys, but they're really proud of it and they really want to show it, so they're gonna give us more info.
You don't have any idea of dates yet or anything?
No, just that it's in November, and then there's a fire truck specific show that they are looking at that's in Colorado, but I don't know when that is, he didn't say, so I don't think that would be next year.
Did they add to the offer about if they take it to the show, the pinstriping or something like that?
I think so, yeah. I think I had heard him talk about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think we had heard that they were going to do a little more work for us
Yeah.
in return for letting us have them show it.
Yeah,
Got the lettering on it, they didn't have striping.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be great.
yeah, it looks great.
I guess probably we should find out, you know, if they want it down there. I'm personally, I'm in favor of letting them have it, but that's not up to me, obviously. I'm wondering
Is that a town
who,
decision, probably?
Oh, I suppose, I don't know how decisions like that make it made.
I'm
I don't
just,
think the board needs to be involved.
yeah, I'm just wondering if we should find out if they want it down there, are they going to pay for it being taken down there? Or is that something they're gonna expect the town to?
Assume if they want it, they'll.
That's what I'm thinking, if they want it, you know, and we, you know, the town or whoever agrees to let them have it, which is fine, then I think they should also request that they come and get it and bring it back.
They
'Cause that's not-
probably would, wouldn't you imagine?
Well, I would think so.
I would
I'm
think
just-
so.
It's one of those things, if you don't ask, you don't
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'll talk to Brian.
And something like that can get expensive hauling it on a flatbed down, I don't know, wherever they're doing it back, you know, you could be talking, what, $200, $300, $400?
Oh, at least,
At least,
yeah.
or maybe even, I don't know, round trip, maybe even more.
Well, it sounds like they want to show off and maybe get some benefit out of it too.
Oh,
Well,
certainly.
I think it would be good exposure for
Oh.
Superior too.
Oh,
It'd be great,
You know,
it'd be great, yeah.
Very much so.
Did you
Yeah.
guys know there was a rival fire truck in town? I
Heard about that.
didn't know that till the 4th of
Another one
July.
was in the parade, you mean?
Oh.
Yeah, privately owned one.
Oh,
No, I didn't see that one.
I didn't-
Yeah, it was in the parade.
Oh.
Parked out in the parking lot.
Parked right in front of ours, I mean, not right in front.
I forget the name of the town that's on the side of it, but some guy, well, a fireman owns it.
Oh,
So
okay.
I happen to-
Privately
I
owned.
know the family that owns it, so, where'd you guys get that? They bought it off of eBay from North.
Maybe we have a fire truck drag race.
Yeah.
Same vintage and everything, just different body.
He doesn't have a paint job that matches ours.
Well, probably not.
He's got the old paint job.
They were jealous of our new shiny.
Yeah. Now, if we want to get one that's really close to ours, only it's four-wheel drive, there's one in Howard, Colorado, it's just sitting outside in the lot.
Oh boy, let's get it.
Maybe.
That may be a reason why he's sitting outside of the lot.
We took pictures of it when we were on our trip.
Well, I was impressed that the, couple of guys from Mile High Classics were there, as most of you know, they were so proud, and I started telling about, oh, what can I know about this? And then they started talking about things that they had done on the truck, and they were pretty proud.
It should be, yeah.
Patrick approached me about a ladder to fit on the ladder rack.
Ooh,
And it so happens that I was on a project at the Railroad Museum, and so I asked these people, what's that ladder doing on that wall down there? They said, we don't know, it has been moved for 50 years. So it's now over in the firehouse. And so I had a guy working on a project down there, and he had a trailer so he could bring it back. So Matt tried to put it on there to see how it fit, and so he doesn't want to put it on because he wanted to scratch the paint of the brackets. And so far, it looks like it's a single ladder. It looks like the brackets are intended for a double, you know, for the sliders.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's not fitting just
Extension.
right yet. Matt's gonna play around with that very soon.
Is it a wooden ladder?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This is for fire use only on it.
Oh, okay.
It also says Union Pacific Railroad.
seems like there's a problem with using a wooden ladder in a fire.
you would think.
Widowmaker.
Wasn't there a ladder here a few minutes ago?
Really old.
Just something that's just crossed my mind about the problem with the exhaust pipe leaking fumes. There, at least in England, there was like a device you could buy. I think it's called film drum or something that you can actually temporarily seal the leak with. It's like a shaped polyethylene material. You just fit over the where the corrosion is and seal it, and it will, for so many months, whatever it will, seal
I
the.
think we got something like that over here too.
I had an old saw.
We have used some of that.
I just wonder whether there's a temporary
Yeah.
idea of maybe you want to put Gus's ones.
I had an old Saab 99E in Panama that had exhaust system problems, and you can guess that they didn't have 90 Saab parts in Panama. I tried every possible muffler, exhaust system, bandage kind of thing, none of them hold. So, just the compression is just too much for that stuff. Better off getting something fashioned and made.
Yes, I know, but I'm just thinking it's not going to be until approves more money, which is probably going to be next spring. We're going to have a chance to learn and repair on it. And if you want to use it during the interim,
Is Bias give you a lifetime guarantee?
Is that muffler original on that fire truck?
I have.
You know, it could be plugged up. I had that trouble with my motorhome, so I put 2 turbo mufflers on that big 460 engine. Haven't had a problem since.
One thing looking down the road too, though, is that, David mentioned the lights, we're gonna have to be real careful about how those lights, what comes up as a way to install the lights on that and the paint job.
Oh, yes.
So, I know we're not there yet, no, certainly.
Of course, maybe by the time we get into December, that paint will have had a chance to thoroughly dry and set up. I mean, yes, I agree, we need to really be careful, but I think it's still a little soft yet. Because I noticed when we moved that hose on there, because there was a hose touching one of the brackets on the truck, and you could see it scrape the paint off. And Larry and I moved it, and you could tell it's still kind of soft yet.
Didn't they put a clear coat on that? They should have.
I'm guessing, but
Yeah, they should have put a clear coat on there.
But remember that fire hose, that brass connection was there, and it was right up on it, and was rubbing it, just a little bitty spot, but it took it clear down almost to the middle.
Huh. Boy.
Now, I brought up something, and I'll throw this out, and maybe we want to do it, and if we decide we don't, that's fine too. Possibly having somewheres down the road, the fire department, provided they would even do it, maybe hook up to that thing and see if that pump works.
Yeah. That'd be an idea.
Now, I was talking to one of the firemen who had the big truck out there, and he said we'd have to get a hold of fire marshal. And, but I thought, if that's not something that we or the town is receptive to, and we just don't, then I wasn't gonna bother the fire marshal, and for all I know, the fire marshal might say, no, we can't do that.
And Walt knows the fire marshal.
Yeah, that's what he said. I mean, yes, he does. So I was just wondering if we want to pursue it, fine, I might give somebody a call or start pushing.
I had a nice conversation with the fire chief, he stopped by and talked, I was there, so.
He's a real nice guy.
Yeah, so. I imagine between him and me, I think he recommended talking to fire marshals.
Yeah, so I'd have her phone number.
So
Who is the fire marshal? Is this
that'd be
like,
something.
is it like a county position or?
I think it's in the fire department.
Yeah, I have her phone number, I think, in my wallet, because the guy I was talking to, the firefighter, gave it to me.
Anything else on that? On the grid separator, you have a chance yet?
I haven't gotten to it, I'm back to it, and what I'm seriously thinking about doing is I'm gonna bring the stuff over from the 4th of July tomorrow, drop it off at the, I think I'm gonna bring the parts back and put them down in the basement again, until maybe this next winter I can get back on it again. I'm not saying I won't do it, but I think maybe it's better I do that than have it sitting in my garage.
Now, where'd you get that separator? Did that come from over there, the one that we looked at that time?
No, I
No,
don't
it
think.
didn't? Oh.
No, I can't remember the couple that brought it in.
Oh.
I can't remember.
Patty
They
Lester,
brought it in,
was it?
Jerry was there when they
Patty
brought it
Lister
in.
from Louisville.
Yeah, she was a
Yeah.
volunteer at Louisville.
It's
Her
good that you
family
got
lived
one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But I just feel that it shouldn't be sitting in my garage anymore, I'd rather it was back in the museum, that way I don't have to worry about losing something. And I've checked, I haven't lost anything yet. So I think tomorrow when I bring that over, I'm gonna bring that back, and then I'll address it maybe, come November, December, and I'll start on it again.
Yeah, that guy that lives by me there's got the big barn by me. He's got all kinds of these old pedal grinders, I'm trying to talk him out of one. I don't know if I'm gonna get successful or
Oh,
not.
for sharpening tools and stuff?
Oh, he's got, that barn is about 40 or 50 feet wide and 100 and some feet long, full.
Wow.
Mm.
Old horse-drawn equipment, and you just name it. Old corn shuckers, everything.
Now, that might be a place we can get all some old harness.
I'll bet he's got some harness there. He's got stuff hanging up, and I'll bet those old single bottom plows, horse-drawn single bottom, I bet he's got 50 of them in there. But he's kind of wanting the big bucks.
Oh.
He gets a lot of stuff given to him.
Okay, the new museum sign, project recap, anything on that, Tony?
He doesn't have any notes on here, but I'm pretty sure he said that it was up.
It is.
It looked good, I think.
Yeah, you can see it very nicely.
Yeah.
Now, where is that sign located?
Over there by the, between the frontage road and the
Oh.
museum.
Did they move the sign that we had put up?
No, it's still there. It's still there.
It's kind of by the back porch.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
It looks nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can tell what that building's for now, really.
Can you?
Yeah.
It's too bad that you just can't get that old school building before it deteriorates completely, because it's going downhill.
Yeah.
Is he kind of full of stuff?
He's got quite a bit in there,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. You got a lot of
He's got an old Chris Craft boat. He's got a 34 Ford coupe in there, mint condition. He's got a bunch of old farm equipment, old wagon wheels and stuff. I don't know just how much he's got in there, but quite a bit of
It's
stuff.
full.
Does he know
It's
you're in
full.
town?
Huh?
Does he know you're in town?
No.
Are you going to surprise him?
I'd like to, yeah. Yeah, I talked to him quite a bit.
That barn's almost, is almost as full as his house.
I would imagine. His house, does he have paths through here?
For what little I've looked in the door, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Danny. You can't get into the back porch, can you?
No.
And on number 7, thanks to Katie for getting us off dead center on that sign. Alan and Katie.
Yeah.
Very good.
Correspondence completed before, Karen?
There was no correspondence this month. Does anyone know of any that we need to do?
I don't
You got a month off?
Yeah, I had a month off.
Okay, the museum back porch safety update. Hand
Well,
in.
So the last time we were open, we had the discovery that, okay, there's that place that's pushing up on that porch. So right under there is the clean out for the sewer. So what's happening is, I kept thinking, oh, the sewer thing, this clean out must be rising. Finally discovered that the deck is sinking.
Is there a leak in that sewer pipe
No,
somewhere?
the deck's going down.
Is it?
Yeah, so the deck has gone down about that far. And so now we've got those beams are a tripping hazard and then the cleanout's pushing up. And so that's a tripping hazard. So Brian and I showed Brian this phenomenon the other day, and so he's gonna talk to Matt and Tommy and see if they can do something in the meantime. Maybe we could raise it up with a forklift or something like that.
Or is the deck on cement or is it on caissons or?
I think it's just on
On pylons.
vertical beams, I think.
But not on concrete, I don't think so.
Is that that section we worked on that time?
No, I don't think so.
Or the soil subsidence is not
Yeah.
unusual around
That's
there.
for sure, yeah, so it's not completely surprised, but I couldn't look under there and see exactly how that porch is anchored. At least we got the explanation for why you got all these things in motion.
You want to watch looking under there too. There might be a little black and white pet under there.
Yeah, for sure.
We think we're
Bobby
stripes
old
here.
Oh, uh-huh.
thing, oh, I'm sorry, Larry, I didn't
Well, I
mean.
was just gonna say, I don't know, if they were gonna try to see if the creature was under that one corner. I don't think-
He didn't let me know about that.
Doesn't look like as quiet as dug out as it was, so get on.
I think though we should at least think about or look at down on the side of the deck there, it's right adjacent to where you go down into the basement, perhaps putting a railing up there, because that's where Walt, of course, there was a little lip in there, but that's been removed. But
Yeah.
when you look down, there's still, what is it, maybe that far?
It's a pretty
Step
good
down.
size step.
And putting a railing, and Larry and I had talked about it, coming out off the museum itself, right to the corner, and then roughly put in a piece around the corner so that it anchors that whole thing, is so the top doesn't.
Yeah.
And,
Stabilize.
because, you know, it's possible we could have somebody come in there visit, a visitor or whatever you want to call them, and have somebody trip and fall off of that, or try and step up on her and hook their foot. It could get not too good.
I agree, I think,
Yeah.
I don't know if we could at least get both those issues looked at and see what needs to be done in our terms.
We have that $5,000 left in the capital improvements, and the other thing Brian and I talked about was prioritizing, because I finally understood what he meant. You remember, and he kept saying, I had to cut the roof in order for the gutters to fit. I finally got to figure out, I finally caught on what he means. The shingles, you know, the wood shingles, so the wood shingles about that far, so he's saying that what they're saying is they have to cut the shingles off, they have to trim the shingles back so that the water will drain into the gutter. So the point is that, so his final question was, what's the bigger the first priority, the Grassl Park House or the Zoom building? Could probably only do one at a time, if you have to do the whole Zoom building. So one option would be do Grassl Park House and one wall that drains into the stairway, or just do the Grassl Park and do the next one, next time we get a capital improvement grant, or maybe there's $200 left over to do a wrought iron railing. I don't know.
Well, it's budget season right now, so
Budget season.
Well, if they do cut those shingles off of that gutter, they better make sure that they seal that between the gutter and the shingles. If they don't, that water will seep back up in there.
Yeah, I'm not,
gutters have a way of clogging.
You bet. I know. I've had that problem down there.
so I think
I had that problem in Longmont too.
I'd like to recommend we go ahead with the Grassl Park
You had
House
that
and then
problem too?
explore the options on the next in-house, because before we start trimming up those shingles and so forth.
I'm more concerned, you know, about the other work that could be safety issue.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with you, Joe, yeah.
Prioritizing that,
Yeah.
having people come and.
We've
My
had-
fear is somebody's gonna step off of that thing and go
Oh.
rolling down the stairs.
Yeah,
They
that
could
would
get
be-
hurt.
Now,
That would be really
Yeah,
a
that's,
lot more serious.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
going
something.
twice now.
Yeah, but
You
I
do?
thought if we had some wrought iron put in there, we lag it into the house and then onto the deck. That's one of those things, if, you know, it's not gonna mess up anything historic on it.
No.
And you can always take that off and fill the holes up. And you'll never know that it was ever on there.
So Brian is currently looking into that because he thinks that it might have to fit the time period of the house. So him and Patrick are looking into that as far as adding the railing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that might be an additional cost and hiccup, but
Yeah.
I still think that
Yeah. Well, I agree, we need to do whatever, you know, and that's fine. I
And
think-
we'll
So
always
we
do
just
that.
need to pass on to Brian to, that's our priority, right? I mean, that and maybe the gutters.
Did they ever get that front door screen fixed?
oh, yeah.
Did they? Finally, huh?
So
Back door
the,
too.
Oh, good.
we want to get the gutters on the Grassl Park House as soon as possible, so, because eventually we want to also stain the new wood. But Wally had the idea, or we had the idea, somebody was talking about the wrought iron, maybe put one on the other side as well for kind of balance. And it's also not, you know, it's a fairly long step off the other west side too, so.
this is kind of back on the railing issue. I don't think that that's something the Boy Scouts can work on really. But we've had 2 offers. I think, Larry, you got one during the spring walk. And during 4th of July, I had a lady by the name of Lori Cook that wanted to know if we had any projects for Boy Scouts. So if we ever do get anything that they can do, we have a couple offers.
Well, I was gonna bring up that Alan and I went into the barn to look at that big display case, and it's awful in there. So, and September is not that far away, right, for the field trips? I wouldn't want my child going in there right now. So, that could be some, I don't wanna do it. I mean, the town did it before, right? Did like a big cleanup? And I don't know if it needs to be like a huge, but it's,
Wasn't that long
there's
ago?
nests everywhere,
We
there's,
hired somebody to clean it, because you gotta,
Yeah.
there's vermin in there.
yeah. But it
Yeah.
could be a it could, maybe they could help with some of the cleanup, I don't know, not like the really gross stuff, but.
Now, by nest,
It's
you-
also just like that, there's nails that are sticking up in the floor, you know, if we said these are the 3 things that we'd like them to work on, not removing the hornet's nest or something, but there was, I mean, it was that.
You should have seen it when it was bad.
Yeah.
So,
We might be able to do a volunteer opportunity.
okay, yeah.
What we did last year was, I stood there and like the width of this table, the kids could come in, have a look and leave, and another
Mhm.
little group could come in and leave. So they didn't actually go in farther.
Yeah. But then it's nice if they can go in, right? Because that's
Well,
neat.
just that, yeah,
But-
just that little bit
If it's
because.
that bad, we may not be able to do it this year.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
is there
I
a
just,
lot of hornets nests in?
there were some nests. I just tried to avoid looking up,
Well,
so
yeah,
I
I-
don't know. I didn't I didn't count them. I just looked down.
I've sprayed them before, I guess I could go in there and take a look at it.
Yeah,
I could
and it's probably
spray it
not as
again.
bad as, it's just not something I'm used to walking into. And that display, I think really, so Alan and I kind of decided that big display case is not ever gonna work, I don't think.
No,
So I don't know why it should even really be in there anymore. And I think even for the authenticity of the barn, why are we storing stuff? The old wood sign is in there. It's kind of like, there shouldn't really be anything in there except
Barn
nothing, yeah.
It's like if you have the space, you fill it.
Yeah, but that, I mean, I think Alan and I said we're fine with whether we put that back and Fram to, or just I think it probably just needs to be, get,
Well, we keep trying to give that sign back to the town, they won't take it, so.
Yeah.
You know, we could
Is it
move until,
uploaded now?
sorry,
That's okay.
until we get it solved. There is that back room in the barn where it would be the display case, the sign, the old, what's it? an
well,
old
and that's
furnace
actually
or
kind of
something.
neat, that thing,
The town of
whatever
Spring,
that
I think it's
is.
here at the parking lot.
The
So-
furnace thing is kind of
Right.
neat.
But
But we could
commercial
move them
enterprise might wanna
to
put
the
it
back
on its
room, maybe
wall
on
like
the
a bar or
side.
Yeah, I mean,
something.
especially,
Big.
yeah.
well, we also
But
had
the
that
dis-
lean-to on the
this-
barn, or whatever you wanna call that, that
Yeah.
we could put that in, and get it completely out of the inside of the barn itself.
One of those lean-tos are pretty full.
Pretty full, yeah.
Oh, is it?
The one on the north side, isn't it? It was pretty full.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was able to put the remnants of the false bottoms in there, and it filled it up really.
Oh.
So there's not, on that, and the middle one, it was pretty well filled up too, so.
Yeah, we might need to talk to Brian about dispensing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just haul it off and
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff hauled off the first time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe by September, our goal could be to get the sign moved to the back, and maybe the display case just needs to be thrown away.
Yeah, I think so.
And the little black bits removed. I'm assuming there's more black bits than last September.
Yeah, and I was more concerned about all the wasp too, and the black, what are the black ones that fly around? I don't know.
Hornets.
Yeah, is it hornets, the black?
Black one, yeah.
There was,
Yellow
but there were
Jackets are
several
probably
of
in
those
there.
flying around right there, so Alan and
Work
I
on
looked
days
really
appreciation
fast.
for- you work on your appreciation
I
for
call
Mother
it
I
black
know.
mud daughters.
God's creatures.
Yeah, there's some mud
Locked me up in there for a day,
Haven't you ever owned a camp
I
in
had
the
to do
woods?
some spraying last night around.
for a
my place.
reason.
That might be something that we can get down in there and, perhaps
They
I
get on
can
the
spray
window and they can't get out.
the hornets, wasps, or whatever it's in the barn, and maybe go into the old outhouse and check that. We have in there in the past, I took care of those. We probably even go into the house and the root cellar, just to check.
And even just some basic cleanup that volunteers could do would be
I
nice,
wouldn't mind
sweeping.
putting on a mask and
So,
sweeping.
Any cleanup we do in there, we should wear a mask because of the rodents.
And
Yeah,
I
you wanna be
remember
careful
last fall
having,
with the students,
having,
there was one building, I don't remember what, that there was just some really big nails sticking up that everyone was like avoiding, and that should be fairly easy. Let's just get it so that it's
Yeah.
safe that people can walk.
Yeah, you don't want anybody tripping over.
yeah, I was gonna
or
say,
stepping on it.
Yeah.
that's quite a hazard in there, so
Yeah.
whoever goes in there, you
Yeah,
gotta be
for anyone.
exceedingly careful, really.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Sorry,
of
that was
pack
off
rats
subject.
in there.
How we got there.
Hey, they cleaned it out really
Those-
good, but,
those-
you know, they're coming back, you know.
A lot of field mice and stuff probably too.
Probably should put some Roundup in there or some
You know, I wonder if we should, instead of,
Yeah.
bait.
Oh, bait, yeah, you're right.
I bought that new square type bait and it's not as good as the old. They kind of ignore it.
Well, you-
I'm wondering if we should set, or maybe the town needs to, I'm thinking that there might not be enough time from the August meeting to when we start having the kids come in to set a workday date. So I'm wondering if maybe we could set a date now, maybe to get spraying done a few days later, come in and have a sweeping thing and look around.
Might want to wait till after next week is over, because it's supposed to really get hot.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to do it.
Join
now,
the
but
club.
set the date now.
Well, do we want to utilize people that are, the Boy Scouts that are willing to help, or volunteers? Tori said there may be
Yeah, but
volunteers.
is that kind of a, I
I
mean,
guess the initial question is figuring out if it's safe enough to get them in there to do it.
Yeah.
And appropriate work.
Mhm.
My
I'll
s-
take a look with Brian.
But just,
When he gets
said
back.
it's probably not as bad as I
Yeah,
mentioned it sounds.
I can take a look with Brian and we can see what age group. I know we have some high schoolers that are looking for some service hours. That might be a little bit safer for them to be in there than the Boy Scouts, but we can take a look.
Is wearing a mask, does that protect you? Because I know there is a rodent disease.
Yeah.
It's fatal.
There's a hantavirus.
Yeah.
Can you still buy that decon here, the regular decon?
I think the mask knows.
I know my sister, a nurse, knew of a family who the young guy went in and didn't wear anything and he died. He contacted it, so I know you have to be very careful.
And I don't think it's as bad as it probably was. There's a few, I think it's mostly, it just needs some cleanup.
Cleanup last year, the guys took that quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did a good job too,
It was pretty bad before.
yeah.
So the other, that moral of that is staying on top of it
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think as a scout project, that would, I doubt if that would qualify for
Uh-huh,
Eagle Scout project.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
there's nothing permanent to show, really.
You know, I don't know all the qualifications, but I do know the Eagle Scout guy usually does all the organizing of the project. So-
You know, the second lady that talked to me, they were working on an Eagle Scout project. They just wanted to do some kind of volunteer
Oh,
work.
really?
Maybe it just ties into one of the merit badges.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So maybe before we set a date, we can see,
And
you
see
can
what-
see the
what
condition
you're
and stuff like that.
Yeah. and then-
But I agree, we probably shouldn't wait till the next meeting to figure it out.
Yeah.
Bad enough, we gotta use those old people who are expendable. You know.
Make
I don't
room.
like
Not those
that
young
attitude.
kids.
Museum display ideas. Katie, anything new on that?
No, Lindsay and Alan and I have been emailing a little. We're on track to,
Meet at some point.
yeah, to meet and work on the September one first, the Miss Orman, the school theme, but nothing's really, no update except we're on track.
Good, thank you. Potential Boy Scout projects, I guess we don't have.
Did we, yeah.
Any others under the old business?
Troy, do you have Brian's notes there about how much the Castle Park,
So he's
Got
still
it.
waiting on some quotes.
no specific motion? That's all.
New business staffing for tomorrow and August 6th.
Well, I was planning on being there tomorrow.
You gonna be able to do that, Larry?
I think so. Cheryl just has to sit and take it easy right now, so. Well,
I said I'd come in the morning.
Mary's coming in the morning and Jill, Katie, Lindsay.
I'll come in the afternoon.
Lindsay's coming in the afternoon.
I wish I could, but my daughter's
Pass the
got
baton.
things planned.
I'll be there in the morning for a little bit, and, because I'm bringing that stuff back in.
If you need one more person, I could come for half a day.
I could come too, but it sounds like you got enough people, I guess.
Well, let you take a break there, Bob. Maybe,
Okay, so August 6th, we will not be here.
I'll be here.
That's
Old
the-
Faithful.
That's the first Saturday in the month.
Yeah. And then are we gonna be here in
August 6th.
August 20th also? Is that the
First
thought?
Saturday.
Continue through?
August is our third
Yeah,
month,
that's what it
our
is,
three
yes.
summer months, so yes.
I think we'll be here.
I guess you don't have enough feedback yet of whether the second opening is catching on or not.
And so far, it hasn't been great. So June and July didn't garner any people, so.
Well, July's just.
July's tomorrow, so you'll find out. And you wait and
Only
see.
done it once?
July
Why
2nd.
does it seem like I did it twice? Okay. We don't know yet.
Well, you did it July 2nd and then July 4th.
Yeah.
In June,
Yeah,
we did it in June.
yeah,
Yeah, 4th and 18th of June, didn't we?
yes.
Yeah, that's the 1 second.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I might be able to help on the 6th, but I can't really, I can't commit.
Who else? Bob and I've got Katie with a question mark for the 6th.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Yeah.
I think we'll be here.
I'm gonna put Bob down twice, since he just volunteered twice.
There you go, Bob. Yeah, and I'll probably be around, I imagine.
We could be playing at Willie Nelson's song on the road.
That's what my granddaughter's got us planned for. On the road again, we're going to take a trip down to Texas.
Well, you got all the high spots.
Well, my-
Oklahoma, Texas.
My grandson-in-law's
Great weather.
dad's got a big foundry down there.
August.
They got, I don't know how many thousands of acres. They raise these exotic deer. They sell them to a guy that he rents his property out to hunters.
Oh dear.
And they make, you can't imagine the money. They can't even spend their interest. But she's got over 100 deers. She had, well, I'll put it this way, she had over 100 newborn deers this year.
Oh, my goodness.
My oldest great-grandson went down, spent 2 weeks down there with her to help her with them.
What part of Texas is that?
Down, clear down the south part, what's the name of that town? It's on the tip of my tongue. They're down close to Waco,
Oh,
way down there.
Bring back jerky.
Huh? Yeah, but, you know, to me, that's not sport.
No.
Go in there and shoot a tame deer.
no.
Yeah.
That's like going and shooting a cow.
It's happened.
Yeah.
Slow elk.
They sold a buck down there, $10,000 for one buck. One of the special ones. Oh,
Boulder Heritage Roundtable?
I assume it's gonna be on its usual time. I will not be available on the 21st, I know that. I'm gonna do a train ride on the DIA on that day. So if anybody else wants to go, you're welcome to, otherwise we'll just let it ride, so
First NFRA meeting up in Loveland, August 15th.
That might be a pretty good one.
That could be at that farm?
Is that the one we went to? We went to that once, I think.
No, it's not at Timberlake Farm.
Okay.
It's,
Oh, that,
Yeah.
okay, that's something different then.
yeah, because they've got the Historical Society. I think it's a couple of really neat old houses or something. I'm not going.
I would probably like to go if I can make it my schedule.
Yeah.
When you have to let them know, do you know, Mary?
Oh, they'll,
Down below.
we'll get the email invitation about a week or 2 weeks before.
Okay.
And then we'll have to print one off and mail it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll get it to you, yeah.
I'll just
let
send it to
you
him
know.
on his smartphone.
Okay, I owe you one, buddy. Be prepared.
You owe him more than that. You want to borrow
Yeah,
my
you're
12
right.
gauge?
You're right there.
You keep track, you should have a list about 10 feet long.
Yeah, probably.
He drags his track out when he
Yeah.
walks.
I have a smartphone, you ought to have
Yeah.
Okay, second grade field trips. You heard anything or approximate
Nope.
dates?
I usually start that, and I didn't start it before the end of the school year, didn't think about it, so I can.
Got a new supply of the coloring books, right?
Yeah, we did. They got delivered 8 or 10 boxes of them, I think it was. Good shape there. Yeah, so of course they'll start up in August, so I will,
Better come back
you know,
up here and help us.
email the teachers and get them started.
Well, it
So they
sounded
have
like
it
it
on.
was pretty successful that last time.
It's always been pretty.
Did I put the
Yeah.
Billy Club down in the museum? I don't remember what I did with that.
I thought it was in your car, in a recent road rage.
Yeah.
Road rage incident.
Yeah, that was me on TV. I think I
It's
put
in
that
there.
down in the,
I
I
down the
just saw
stairs.
it, I saw it just the other day, so
Okay.
it is there, yeah.
That really fascinates the kids.
No demonstrations though, right?
No.
Not yet.
Well, I did do a demonstration on where they come up with the word, term pokey,
Mm.
which they used to use the Billy Club for the pokey. They're fascinated with it, so.
Any other new business?
I noticed that one of the signs in Asty Park is blank. I took a picture of it, so I think it must have peeled off. But yeah, that's what it looks like, by the
Which
mining
one,
cart.
in front of the house? Is it?
By the what?
It's the one to the west of the mining cart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the one about how the park was.
It looks like my mind, blank.
With a little line through it, yeah.
Like Tori said, it had some other ones that have done that, so I emailed you back on that, Lindsay, but,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
It had some problems with the laminate coming apart. And not all of them, but all of them in Asty Park, I think, have been redone.
Yeah.
And so does
Very
Brian.
tough to read,
Do they
yeah.
know about
Did
that?
they redo both coal cars
Mhm.
or just the one?
Yeah, no, we did,
They look pretty good.
I thought I copied them. when I-
They, yeah,
I didn't
they.
think I did, so, yeah.
yeah, we just,
Okay.
yeah, we put it in clothes on. We got
I thought that was gonna be a Boy Scout project.
All right. Do you know about
At
the
one
mining
time.
that's
It
over
was
there? Are
old
they
Boy
still
Scout.
pulling
Yeah, I was
the
wondering about
trigger?
that.
Old,
Oh, I don't know.
old
I could
boys,
check
no
with Brian.
scout.
Yeah, because that was,
That was old
Months
business
ago.
quite a while ago.
Yeah, the idea is to move it over here, right?
Yeah.
Now there's possible
Thought it would be
renovation at
safer.
Town Hall, too. Awesome.
Nobody try to steal it again, huh?
Now, do we know why that lamp is coming off? Is that possibly sprinklers that's causing that, or
No,
just the hot sun and it's just?
Talking with Melissa, it just sounds like some faulty materials.
Oh, okay.
Those materials, so they, Tony, I think they've replaced, they have replaced their defective,
Some people so, yeah.
the sign company. Katie, what did you start to say?
If you wanted to talk about the schoolhouse at all, about you and I talking about it at the museum.
What we talked about?
we had the discussion about, since I'm still newer, the thought is we kind of talk about the schoolhouse that Danny has, and the schoolhouse and the, you know, it's going down and it's deteriorating and what's gonna happen, and I just thought, is it important to, how important is the schoolhouse to the town and to the board and to the history of the town? That, is it, if it's really, really important, then it's probably, my thought, better to be proactive about planning to formally ask for it, formally something, to actually, I think the thought is, well, what's gonna happen? And I don't know Danny, so I'm like, you know, so you guys, but so is the thought that just eventually when he passes away, maybe, possibly, the town might, you know, it's a little, and then, well, who's gonna get it? And I just thought, if it's important, and maybe it's, I just think there's not that many really important historical things
You got a
left.
good point.
So,
Good point.
do we proactively, formally, meet with Danny and his family, write a letter, talk about that this is very important to us. We talked about this vision of the, what do we say, the Ormond Community House, that it's on the same, you know, it's right by the museum. It's eventually redone, restored, used for meetings, used for concerts, used for weddings.
Yeah.
But it's a lot harder to just say, oh, he passed away. Okay, family, we're interested in it. And how do we go about doing this? Oh, in the town, we need $200,000, and we need you to help us move it. And this is our thought. Yeah, after the fact, you know. So it's just, I just thought it might. Is it important enough that we actually plan ahead, or at least present our hopes for it?
I think,
Several years ago,
Uh,
this was mentioned, and we just said a brick wall, and we're trying to get any further. Other people just gave up in frustration to the town, Danny, and his family. We just absolutely nowhere near it at all.
Mhm.
I think people just ended up completely frustrated. So,
Yeah, well, and it's interesting that, like, the town, I think you had mentioned it, Larry, that they're also not happy. And by the way, I'm an outsider, like you. I don't know Danny, I don't know the family, but that they aren't exactly happy with that property right there. The look of it, the homes going in. So if we present it right and plan it right, that we partner, that the town.
Denzel has always been our
Yeah.
interface to
Uh,
Danny about this.
Don Cooper, who is a very good friend of Danny's, told me that when Danny's dead, the town automatically gets that school building.
Where is that written?
Yeah.
Where is that written? How does the town
I don't know.
that?
I don't know if he's got it in a will or what.
well,
But
even
Don-
if that were in a will, somebody needs to be having the town plan to figure out what it takes.
Yeah.
To move, exactly, the
To
thought
get
is,
there,
oh,
we
it's
need to-
ours, now we'd like you to move it,
Yes, moving it,
restoring
what
it.
kind of grant money you can get, how long that takes.
Yeah.
Just getting the museum was a long project.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
it's a fair amount of
that's
money.
great,
Yeah.
that's great, is that true? How do we know that?
Well,
My
we-
fear
we-
is we're just gonna lose it because we're not doing anything.
I don't know which company you can talk to besides Danny.
We pushed it a little bit.
Yeah.
And like David said, we only get so far and then that's it. And
Yeah.
talks are done, so.
yeah.
Did the town, did the historical commission, when they surveyed the properties in town, highlight that as a top priority piece to get, or, you know, because everybody will always go back and look and see how things got assessed.
I don't think when we did the survey that building was even touched.
That
in the
building
survey.
was not part of the survey.
No,
Oh, well, it should be, you guys should at least say, hey, we think that's the top piece to get.
And is it the top piece that we never wanna lose?
Well, I think it is.
Before it collapses.
Well, I agree before it
I
collapses.
think so, yeah.
Because we've already lost one building, and that was the Mayhopper barn.
Mayhopper barn,
That
yeah.
collapsed on us. We were so close, that was unreal.
Well, this old school building used to be structurally sound.
Yeah.
I don't know what it looks like now.
I-
And it had all the interior where the old,
Stage was.
yeah, where the stage was and everything.
But I think we had even approached Danny one time, wasn't it, about signing something that we would get that?
Yeah, yeah.
And he all would run us off, so, we tried to not step on his toes too much, to alienate him to where we absolutely won't get it. But I agree with you, but I don't know what else we can do.
How to do it.
No.
And I just wonder, like, if it's better that it comes from the commission. And I know it did, you know, the conversations did, you guys were, but if there's a formal letter stating our intent, and I think maybe you had mentioned that the other brother, anyways, the idea of donating it and like having their name on it, or having, Ms. Orton, like, this is a memorial, this is a donation. I thought you had mentioned something about him being interested in that. I don't know. I can't remember what we had said about it, but the idea of, yeah,
Talking
just the
about George.
idea, if the whole family knew that our idea for this schoolhouse has grand plans, I don't know what the plans are yet, but you know, would it make more sense than rushing after he passes away and then waiting another, if it doesn't happen, you know, if that doesn't happen, then waiting for other family to get it and then talking to them who
They don't
knows
want
has
to,
a-
George and them don't want the house to go, or the
No,
old
because
school
George
building
said
to
he was
go.
gonna take that over and make a business out of it.
Yeah, Danny says it's not up to them, I own it. He said, I paid for it, I had it bought up here, and he said, it's my building and it's up to me, not them.
right?
But you know, they're all,
They don't get along.
Yeah.
well, George and Danny's finally getting back together, which is, I think's
I've
great.
seen them together talking and
Yeah.
sitting.
I don't know if we could approach Danny again.
I-
You got to use kid gloves on that, because
Yeah,
you'll get mad at us and we won't get it.
well, he won't get mad at you, bunch of people. He thinks you guys are
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
But I think our main spokesman is
I,
sitting right
I'll
here.
have to do a little talking to
Well,
him.
yeah,
Yeah,
Or you
Kinda-
can wait and we can come up with a plan
Yeah.
too. I just,
well, I think
My-
maybe you have a good idea. Maybe we ought to try gently approach him again. And if he starts getting upset, then we may.
yeah,
have
I
to
back off.
Back off and
Yeah.
then try and do something else. I agree, we shouldn't just, but I don't know what to do.
Well, I suggested that one time, you know, that we get paperwork signed,
Yeah,
and he blew me off a little bit.
yeah,
I think as a second prong, it would be good for you to start rising that up with the town expressing interest in the town acquiring it as a historical.
yeah, we could do it from
feature.
that end, maybe.
And at least find out if we can get that far with the town to say, okay, this is what we want and what do we need to do.
it
You
might be a
can't
long.
make Danny do something he doesn't want to do.
Oh, no.
Even if he does want to do it and the town's not ready,
Right.
that's kind of a mess too,
Yeah.
so gotta have both ways. And
So what should we do? Submit a formal type request to the town to look into what they want? How should we handle it?
I would say, first of all, letting the town know that the historic commission is.
It's
would be
an
interested-
important building to the old town,
Yeah.
really. I
would
mean,
be
there was
considering that
a lot of
top
activities. I mean,
Priority
it
at some
was-
point in time. and-
Yeah.
and-
Well, they used it for
acquiring
community
that
centers.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
in some way.
There's probably a risk of, if we express that in a meeting, then that, get the word out into the family and then they.
No, it's really tough to,
Well, or it takes a meeting. We could always meet with Brian, and a few of us could meet with Brian and whoever else we need to, face to face, and just say, these are our intentions and this is what's important.
But I think the letter ought to be presented through the commission here.
but everybody on the town side will want to know, is there a
Yeah.
real chance that somebody wants to.
Right.
Because Danny doesn't have too much Yeah, he's a little sour on some of the town board
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
there's up and down with the
Yeah.
companies in the town
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
you know, which way is the wind blowing
Yeah.
on a given
Yeah.
day. But it,
But if we can present it as, you have the most historical building in this town, and we want you to contribute to the history. If we can, if it's not, if we
Yeah.
take the town, work with the town.
Yeah, work with the
Danny.
town.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just had this like vision of this amazing, amazing building, but
Yeah.
it takes hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It's going to take.
But
you
to
a while.
have that park, have the schoolhouse there that's usable by the city,
yeah,
by the town,
Yeah.
and usable by
Would be
us.
great.
And we
Yeah.
were talking about, I think Alan and I said something about if it's Miss Orman, because, you know, relating that, or having it be named something, the community house, and having events there, and still having historical stuff there, that part of it has museum pieces, and, I mean, it would
Yeah.
be, it would take this historical Superior to the next level.
No, I
But
was-
that's a lot of work.
Talking about naming, I was thinking about that this morning. Edith Orman building. because she-
Community house.
She taught in
Uh-huh.
that room for,
she was a
I don't know
great
how many
person.
years. Jerry, yeah, but she,
So that would help George too, because he's been trying to get some Mormon.
yeah, that's right.
That's
thing
what it
for
was, that you
years,
said. Yeah, that if we say we want to name it after her.
Because
Jerry,
Norman-
did you ever go in there when they used that as a community building? The old school?
who's this?
Did you ever go in there when they used it as a community building? The town?
Well, they had some of their meetings.
Yeah, they had some of their meetings and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like, some years have gone by, since Danny sort of ran people off with the idea. He does like what we're doing.
I thought I'd see that a
And
year
so I
ago.
think
didn't
we-
see-
Danny thinks this is a great group,
So,
I'll tell you.
I think we could gently sound
I
him
think
out
maybe
again.
just in, maybe with your conversations with him, and maybe whenever I walk by or
Yeah.
talk to him, just ask him, well, what's your thoughts now on the old schoolhouse, or something like that, you know?
Yeah,
See,
and his,
don't,
he
it's
must
just-
have had a scare when he fell off that roof a couple years
Boy.
ago.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
when I,
So-
when I dropped the pizza off here after our last, the museum opening there, he was feeling pretty tough, and he was not out there in his usual chair. He was in there in his, I'm gonna call it the living room, or bedroom, whatever.
That's his living
But
area.
you know, he was feeling tough, and he thought he was gonna get, you know, maybe have his daughter take him to a doctor or something. Whether he followed through on that or not, I don't know.
I raised heck with him a lot of times about not going to the doctor. And I says, Danny, I said, you've got to go to the doctor before it's too late.
And it's,
Yeah.
it's coming pretty soon, I'm
Yeah.
Well, I
afraid.
know, I think I heard him in one of our meetings, that he told one of you guys that he thought the town was trying to run him out with that new development.
Yep, I think that was me that brought that.
Yeah.
You had told me that.
Well,
But I
I'm
think
sure
he-
the new development would like to see that.
Well,
property.
yeah.
But I think he's maybe backed off a little bit, because he's convinced that they screwed his well up. Well, I'm just saying
Yeah,
that.
no, there's a lot of people in original town that are worried about their wells because of that development.
You know what we
But
could do?
are there still wells in the original, I mean, not
There
for,
are
Usable.
unregistered wells, there are God knows what. I mean, seriously.
but aren't all the homes tapped into the new water system?
Oh, yeah,
That's why,
it's,
okay.
it's just
They
wells too.
they just have wells for, yeah, okay.
Well, when they put in them sewer lines and everything, storm sewers, they could have cut the water main. You know, you never know where that water's coming from.
You know what we could do, Larry, do what we did once before and sort of got into trouble.
Sort of.
You know who.
Uh.
And we can go down sometime and maybe take some sandwiches down, some cheese sandwiches or something, and sit down there and
Dear.
climb with cheese sandwiches or something, and I don't think he drinks beer anymore. but-
Take Pepsi-Cola, that way Gladys can't come back on you.
Pepsi.
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think about that?
I think we should.
But should we also formally, even if it is that, present him with signed from all of our members our intentions? Or is that, not I'm forcing, but this is, we want you to be a part of this
Yeah.
Well, we
history.
could have that meeting down there with him and throw a feeler out there and see how receptive he is. And if he's receptive in any way, shape, or form, we could proceed from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, see
Yeah,
how
the
the
starting
reception-
point.
You gotta approach him the right way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because Katie's kind of asking about, this, we want to do something that's formal from the, legally formal from the town, or maybe just a letter, I think, aren't you, Katie, just a letter
Yeah, I'm
saying,
just talking about a
Well,
letter
you're
from
We
Mr.
talked about
us.
it once.
That's what I'm saying. We could ask him and see what he would, if he would even be, if he is, see if he'd even
Then
be
we do it.
receptive to even accept one of those. I'd be willing to try that.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you who maybe don't know what I'm talking about, that's been what, 3-4 years ago, 5 years?
Quite a while. I was still here then.
Yeah, Larry and I went down in the summertime and sat down there and took Danny a couple sandwiches down there and sat and drank a beer with him. This had nothing to do with the Historical Commission. And one of the town's people, people that live in the town went by and saw us doing that. And in the fall, when he fell off the roof and almost died, her and I got into it out here in the museum. She blamed us for it, held us directly responsible. I was concerned for a while she wasn't gonna start a lawsuit or something.
For
Even though it
what?
was 4 months later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Because
it was
you
our
weren't
fault that he
here.
fell off the roof and everything.
Well, he admitted to me it's been a while back, that it was his fault for not checking that
Well,
ladder.
But I'm just saying.
Sure.
He didn't have it hooked in.
It was his fault for getting on the roof. I
Yeah.
didn't even
No.
have
But
this
I'm
point in
just-
my life.
Hey, I still get on the roof, 87 years old, and I still get up there.
But I'm just saying, we
I'm not doing
had
it.
quite a discussion out there and it got pretty heated. And to this day, I really don't talk to her very much, just trying to stay out of trouble.
Well, we probably should proceed on this. in some
Yeah, I
form
think
or
we
other,
should.
So maybe
And I don't wanna push this at all, I just,
Well,
Oh, you got a good
I
idea,
think you
though.
got
I
a
just,
good
what
idea.
a shame, right?
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
if
but
the
the-
family, and I think the entire family, and I know Danny says, well, it's mine, but I think the entire they all need to know our intentions for this building.
His intention.
And the town needs to know that the historical commission holds this as a top
Yeah.
priority problem.
Yeah.
I wonder if another angle that we could have, who was it that was?
Vicky,
Vicky. I wonder if we could approach her and see if she could,
Talk to her
talk
husband.
to her
Vicky
husband,
Kuffner
Phil.
was on
Yeah.
the commission
Yeah.
before you two.
Is she on
No,
the
she
right
was there.
faction of the Kuffners
I
or
met
the
her.
wrong
She was
faction
still
of the?
Well,
I can't even figure out the
She's in
Kuffner
the church.
faction.
Yeah.
That's true.
But there's possibility that could be another avenue of us
Sure.
somehow getting in there.
And if they think there's money to be
Have you ever
made,
met
somebody will be.
Danny's daughter?
Yeah.
That's true.
But it sounds like
Denzel?
Just that
Have you met
opportunity.
Danny's daughter?
first we need to have the
Yeah.
quiet
Yeah.
talk with Danny. He
Yeah.
has to come with
Yeah, I met his daughter. She used to come over to fish shop.
And just to
Oh,
let it
okay,
go
right,
that
okay.
I met his granddaughter too.
If you're still.
Met his granddaughter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
Back
she
in
brought her
town.
over one
I'd be
time.
willing to
She's
do
back
that
in
sometime.
town.
I
She's
don't know
back.
exactly
She's
when, but
working in Denver.
She's got a good job there.
Well, Danny,
Yeah.
you
She's a
graduate-
lawyer.
You graduate from Harvard.
Yeah.
Shall I leave Larry?
High honors.
Only for you to
I don't know. Go out there.
Discuss amongst yourselves.
Try.
Get a date.
I'd give it a try.
You know,
Oh, I do it, yeah.
if I knew Danny's granddaughter real well, she's a lawyer. And maybe she could kind of put a little word in there for us too.
That's true.
Yeah.
And she thinks the world of Danny. Because
Yes, she's.
he put her through
I've
college.
I've never met her, so
Yes.
I don't know her.
Well, maybe sometime within the next couple of weeks, we could work something out. I wouldn't have a problem, go and get some cheese someplace and make some sandwiches up or whatever. I'm open to suggestions even on that. No, this time we'll stay away from anything other than Pepsi or soda.
Yeah.
Keep this off.
The meeting might not go as well.
The barley pop had another.
And then should we start talking to the town?
It's worth the initiative, I think.
I think Joe's opinion on
I mean, should we have just an initial meeting that this is our hope, this is our goal, that,
Well, I think, I see no problem with letting the town officially know that this is something that the commission would like to see happen.
Yes, and it needs to be done, because if you wait too long, it's gonna be too late.
Well, maybe that's something we should do also, is draft a proposal and give it to the town.
I don't
Save
know
it.
about a proposal. It seems like we're all in kind of the dark about what it all involves, but yeah, maybe figuring out what it all involves. And then, you're right on, when it happens, it's gonna be fast. And it's gonna need to be a response pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and if the town knows nothing about,
Not prepared for it.
if it's not on their,
Or, I mean, the last time something like this came up, there was another house, and that house, it's the house behind Town Hall here, that, there was some interest in that, and, in looking at the, town actually looked at the study of buildings, and that one didn't rate very high, so that wasn't gonna go.
so does that study need to be redone if the
Well,
schoolhouse
I'm
isn't even
surprised the
on it?
schoolhouse isn't on it, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know why
Thinking
we
back
missed
on it,
that.
I'm surprised.
I don't know why we missed it.
Maybe because somebody
Well,
else was out there
because I
with a
think we were
shotgun.
looking
Look at
purely at
residences.
residences at the time,
Yeah.
nobody living in it. Well, for one thing, I don't know if there was any way to even look up anything on the barn. I mean, on the
Garage.
building, because I don't think it's recorded. You know, we went down to Boulder County Clerk's office and did all that research, and I don't think that school building is in there.
Yeah,
Well,
we
it could have been, we just never
And
even
the
looked at it.
Carnegie Library went through their records too.
Yeah. The school building didn't pay taxes, so it wouldn't be on the tax rolls, that's what they use, those tax
Yeah.
records for the photographs and things.
That's true.
Well,
But the
maybe,
value of it seems pretty
So,
self-evident.
When did it
The
get
value
moved?
of the building seems pretty
Yeah,
self-evident.
when did it get moved?
Easy, easy.
Those knees are
When did
bald.
Danny buy it and get it
oh,
moved?
like 65, 7.
That's why I don't wanna have my
Me
knees
and,
done.
Jack Machen moved it. I remember, didn't Jack Machen and Danny move it, or get it moved down
I
to
think so, yeah.
the current location?
I think so, yeah.
I remember he told us
It's
about
in
that.
there, it's in there
one.
last
Or
period, I
Gladys
think it
told
was
us about it.
1967.
Danny will know.
And who did
Yeah,
they buy
he'll
it
know.
from, the town?
Huh?
School district.
School district.
School district, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember how much he give for it. It wasn't too much.
Yeah, they said
Three.
it.
$600 or something like that?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
Well, I guess we can start on our end, and then Larry and I, or whoever else wants to, and then if somebody wants to write something up or approach the town on that end, that's fine too.
I'd like to make a point, is there any way that the schoolhouse can be incorporated into a more general study of the older buildings of original town, so that nobody from the cuff listeners can make an assertion that this is all being done behind their backs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just wondering, could maybe like a more general survey or something be contained within the general survey?
You know, I wasn't in on that survey, so I don't know.
No, that was before you,
Uh-uh.
Barry came in.
The reason we did that
Who has
original
those
survey
documents? Who
was,
has them?
what's that?
The town
We have-
has the
yeah.
Town
documents?
has it, I believe,
Yeah.
or do you?
The reason we did that original
Well, Brian
survey
emailed it
was
to us.
to see
Oh, with
about
the
writing
document, with the document. I mean,
an
with the
ordinance,
survey.
Yeah,
Historic.
preservation,
I can try to-
historical ordinance.
It was part of it anyway, yeah, Brian has a full copy of it.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I
he
agree.
emailed it to us in like October, November.
I agree that I think it would be, I think that even from Danny's perspective, if we say, this is our official survey, and this schoolhouse is, in this town, the most important property
Yes.
to us and to the town.
Yeah.
If he sees that on paper too. But that's if it really is. Do we, I mean, do we really feel like, that's why I don't wanna like push this,
Well, I
that,
don't think there's anything else anywhere near it, so.
But
It's a
you
lot
just
of
have to
work.
treat these people with, sort of, from my experience, you just have to treat these people with kid gloves and just think beforehand of every sort of possible reaction.
Well,
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can take. And
Right.
I'm just feeling if we sort of meet with a town board or something,
Yeah.
recommend this, and then somebody, one of them gets wind of this, and says, oh, you're doing this all behind our backs,
Yeah, no,
and so on
yeah.
and so forth.
Yeah.
That's
well,
my
maybe
concern about
Brian,
that too,
but
yeah.
maybe Brian, maybe we could just meet with Brian and
Started there.
Matt or someone and just
Actually,
say, these are our intentions, we don't
Because-
have the property, nothing
Yeah.
like that, but,
If you meet with the town board or start, there's the open records.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think we
yeah.
should formally present it, I think it should
I
just
think we
be a
do like
meeting.
do the talking and make, build an entree to Danny, and then maybe sit down with
See
Matt
what it's-
Bagley and Martin Toth.
It's a little bit like the open space stuff that we've done, and it's tricky, like you want to assess properties you're interested in buying as open space, but it's somebody's property, you
yeah.
know? It's,
Yeah.
and then when you get talking about it, you know, it's real tricky.
Yes.
Until you actually are negotiating to buy it, then you can start having executive sessions, but
But it needs to be on the radar at least.
yeah, but it needs to, somebody has to know that there's an interest in it, you know, that yeah, down the road, this is. we
Well, like
have to be
Wally
prepared.
said earlier, they tried to make a historic district here.
Yeah, I was
And you would part of
on
that.
planning commission at
Yeah,
that time.
yeah. It got shot down pretty quick, didn't it?
Well, you came up with a pretty good vanilla, you know.
Yeah, got one that wasn't much to it. yeah.
well, we
Yeah.
got blew out of the water, and
Yeah.
I won't go into that because it really made me a little disgusted. But that's neither here nor there, over and done with.
So the first step will be to meeting with Danny and then young people, very softly, just finding out if he's still open, and a quiet meeting like with Martin and, right?
We'll find with Limburger cheese.
Yep.
Make a trip up to the cheese shop.
Oh, yeah.
Go out and cut his weeds for him, that'll make him
Well,
happy.
he was trying to do that.
Yeah, I
the
know.
last time
He
we
told
talked.
me, he says, I'm trying to cut them trees out there, and I just can't get it all done. Well,
Yeah, we could hit him with a code violation.
Oh, that would guarantee.
That would wake him up.
Yeah.
now, he blames I can't do it on account of my arm. Well, I had this arm, I couldn't use it for a while because I dislocated the thing and done some real damage. And the doctor told me, he says, you better start working with it or you're not gonna be able to go up much higher than that. Well, I got almost full use of it now, except I have a little trouble reaching around here. But I do this, I pull with this arm.
I think it's time for Denzel to be the ceremonial motion maker.
Well, are you ready to,
Wait, no, one more.
oh,
I'm just asking about the cemetery, whether there's any chance to be accessible.
There's that temporary road, there's a road that goes pretty close to it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And it goes back to the ice rink, so.
Oh, the cemetery?
Well, we've got a problem as far as I'm concerned, because we backed off from November, so let's do it in August, now that's next month, and then, they haven't got any groundwork made, and frankly, I think our problem's gonna be working around our field trips. Because if we do 3 second-grade field trips, so if we do the,
Should it be in October, related to,
well, that's what we used to do, and we kept getting rain or snowed out. So, we had it in October before.
And, the last couple of years, because of construction, it hasn't.
that always went over good too. Especially old Debbie and his old musket gun there, his relations.
I think you should do it in October and just
You
give
can
it a try.
practically get to it on the bike path now. I mean,
Oh, huh.
Yeah, so
Bike path
the
and the
park
bike
of the,
path.
Avista.
Oh,
Is there a time frame when the town center will be finished? Problem?
Well, we wouldn't have to go up and put our planks down, would we?
Their building's up now.
Yeah, no, they're using the ice rink now.
Oh, really?
It's not open for general public, but people that have contracts to use the facility are getting in. And you can go in and I think you can go in and look when it's open. There's a road in, the bike path is open behind it, you can get to it now.
Now, does the road go to where you can drive up to the cemetery itself?
I'm not sure about parking, I think there's parking by the ice rink, that's pretty darn close.
Tori has an answer.
Well, they
I
still,
don't think there is. I went to the facility the other day, and it looks like the road just wraps around the facility.
Oh, okay.
So
Before?
You'd have to come from the Vista side on the bike
Yeah.
path.
before, whenever we had it open, they had to park over there to the hospital
Yeah.
That's where
and
they-
walk over through the tunnel, and Bob and I put a lot of plank down.
Well, you,
So
that's
Keep
all
it
now
from
it's
getting
easier.
wet.
Now there's a bridge and there's a
Yeah.
concrete path.
It'd make it a lot easier.
May I suggest that we, maybe you and I, and anyone else that wants to, go to the hospital, take the bike, pass, footpath, look it over, and then the August meeting, see if we think it's sensible to try to set an October date.
Good
How's that?
idea.
Sounds
Because
good,
I
Mary.
think it's been too many years not to do it, it'd be nice to get
Yeah.
it done again.
I
So
think it's
thank you
very
for raising
accessible.
that.
I've
Yeah,
I've
so-
ridden that bike path now,
Yeah.
it goes right there.
Yeah, so,
In fact, you can get to it from here too, on the Coal Creek Trail here, it goes right up to it.
I'll be darned.
so.
It makes it
That
handy.
means you've got wheelchair
Yeah.
accessibility.
And then the Coal Creek Trail is dirt until it gets to the concrete, so for wheelchairs and stuff, you'd be better coming from the hospital side.
Yeah.
Well, before they had Boy Scouts, directing the traffic, how to get there. But, it was a good setup,
And we could send them to Boy Scouts direct if we.
Yeah,
could.
Yeah.
that's got it.
yeah.
Now, are we ready for the,
I make a motion we adjourn.
Wait,
Oh.
is there any other business? Okay,
I make a motion we adjourn.
for a second.
I'll second it.
I'm opposed.
I think Wally's decaying away.
Good to have you again.
what's that?
I think yours starting to decay.
Yes, I am.
Me too.
I'll get it back to you guys.
See, here,
Oh,
I'm decaying away too.
Yeah, we're going to set.
That was clear up here.
yeah, you can see where I'm decaying.
And I'm
You
going
should have seen him a while back.
Yeah.
Here we
Wait a minute.
came.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, this,
When we got back off our
Okay.
last
Mary,
motorhome trip,
Go ahead.
I had to go over here to a visit with
After
the
next.
ER.
Leslie,
I had a serious
me too.
inner, or an outer ear
How you doing?
infection.
oh,
And they said it had already started spreading.
holy
Oh,
cow.
they
Yeah, so
got,
this coming
really
week
got
will be good.
excited when I went into the emergency.
Larry still, he came in
Dan,
late.
would you be open
Yeah,
to
sure.
going
Yeah.
out?
I don't care.
They were in the
I'm
hospital.
sorry.
I'm wondering about going out for lunch with dental.
I have to go to
Still the
work.
boss.
Sorry, already.
That's a dirty word, work.
I know. I still work, some of us have to still work. Oh, yeah, sorry, but it's good talking to you.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I was able to come.
Yeah.
It just happened, we brought out my,
And we're doing an ornament, we're doing a Mr. Herman display in September. So if you can plan a trip back in September.
I don't think I can.
Well, we'll take
My
some
granddaughter
pictures.
planning on going down to Texas and taking.
Oh,
Okay.
We've been wanting to go down there and see that layout. It's gotta be enormous.
Danny.
Because he has 300 employees
Go to IHOP and climb
at
the
his
pancake.
foundry. I don't know how many they got there at their house. They own, I don't know how big
how you
that
doing?
ranch is, but it
Somebody
couldn't
bring
mine.
Now, 11:30 Wednesday.
Well, we'll send you pictures of the display.
And she's got a 10-foot fence all the way around it. Keep it on.
It'll be
Used to
interesting.
raise zebras and stuff like that.
So how's
They
breakfast?
just stay with exotic deer now.
Interesting.
Big money.
We should start doing
You
it.
haven't?
They got 5 big lakes on their
Well, yeah,
property, so you know, it's not a little.
Pretty.
place.
We'll enjoy it.
Okay, well,
Lindsay, I'll show you. Okay, hopefully this week we can do it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
get these old knees a working.
Is that something you're
Yeah,
I mean, you're the driver, so.
Yeah, no,
How's the old timer?
We ask him if he wants to,
What the heck's
if
going
so,
on?
where.
How you doing with your new knees?
Mostly Astor.
Can you get up and down? Well, I just got cramped.
I had to switch to.
Well, they wanted me to do both of mine.
Shaving.
Where we did, so like.
Well, this one's
15 minutes later,
well, that's what they want to do with both mine, complete. And I went to my primary doctor and we talked about it. Well, see, the problem is when you get to be our age, then that's not a good one thing to do. Well, you know, I'm 87 years old. What do I want to spend that kind of money on these? And I went to a primary doctor and I said, how many cortisone shots can you have before they become ineffective? He said, there's no amount. He said, they're effective all the time. He said, they just get less effective the more you have. He said, I've got a man comes in every 3 months. You do it? Yes, I can do it. And I said, when can you do it then? He says, how about now? I said, go get your knee.
Oh, is that right?
And he told me, he said, you've got to go clear into the joint. Now that idiot and Enid, that specialist, he put one clear in the joint the first time. I was out here at that time.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
I went back for the second one, he just barely broke his skin.
Yeah.
Didn't do nothing. He said, oh, the second ones don't work.
Oh,
Oh.
So I told my primary doctor that, and he said, that's not true.
Uh-huh.
He says, you come back, he said. And you know what?
What?
The one from the primary doctor cost me $10.
Oh, is that right?
The one from the specialist was over $200,
Oh, really?
plus insurance.
Mary's got a question for you.
Uh-oh, I ain't
Well,
got
we
an
all
answer.
do. Where should we go for lunch?
You guys know where the places are.
Well, they haven't changed much since you were here.
I'm just a visitor.
Wendy's
You
closed
guys
though,
figure
since
it
you
out. I don't care. Just where there's food. Just where there's food.
Still had a bug clock.
Probably want to go in someplace where you can sit down and listen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Where can you go?
Yeah.
Since you're vegetarian.
but she's already home, so.
Well, I can take the meat off the sandwich if you
There's
get it.
actually a Twice's place in Chicago.
I will do that, Jerry.
Well, let's go to Old Chicago, it's just
We
over across.
can at least get a place there where we can all sit together.
Yeah, okay.
Old Chicago work.
I think I better head down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's sort of fun to
Well,
Yeah, it's
get
just,
together
it's,
outside.
it's working out though, you know, he's
no personnel.
It's up to you.
gives us stuff.
Well, I'll go with you, yeah.
Hopefully, acquiring that.
He looks for him every time
schoolhouse
he goes
building,
by.
so.
And so do I. I've gotten now, so I can
Surprising.
stay home.
I have not been here super long after.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
does, he does.
Okay.
I gotta make that phone
Yeah.
call and.
That is where we're going, right, Old Chicago? Okay.
So wherever Tommy
He-
and.
He's gonna go with us.
No, I do that.
I'll be over in a little bit.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Very well.
Go to Old Chicago.
I better go in there and visit the little boys.
Go over there.
Denzel, I hate to run off, but I need to go, Denzel, I hate to run, but I need to
Yeah, I'll
go
come
take care of
over.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's 8. And what about Jerry? What'd you say?
I hate to take off, I gotta go take care of Cheryl, so.
Okay, take care of you.
Where you guys going?
That's what I have to do.
I know, I got.
How's she doing? How's Betty doing?
She's doing pretty good, but she has trouble getting up and down. And she has, that lupus is really taking effect.
Okay, let's walk this way.
There's
we're at
days where
9.
she's pretty good. Then there's days where she's,
Yeah, I imagine it'll be super busy.
but I still got her wheelchair. She, you know, she's had a hard time getting on that.
Somebody on that.
Yeah, and the things like the Lucas Street, I was helping.
And whenever it starts,
I think we're out of here, Nathan.
so I took